almost said good morning. Good afternoon, friends. Sound check. Are we good to go? Everything working okay? Y'all know how we roll around here sometimes. Uh, welcome in. Good afternoon, Forrest and Rachel. Thank you for being here. Butterfly will be here soon. True Great Crime, welcome in. HTC Victim, welcome in. Um, I saw a goofy little song this morning about Grayson and it made me laugh. Then I had to move on because I can't with them people anymore. But welcome in, guys. Let me know in the chat if you can hear me, so I'm just not talking to the wind. Great, thank you, Forrest. Perfect. All right, guys. I believe this guy McKee has already waived his extradition, but I know there are a couple of feeds popping off, and we're going to see if we can get a live court feed in. It was a very short appearance, from what I understand. And then before we get into the gist of what all we're going to talk about, let me double check and see if anybody's actually put that little hearing up. It was just an extradition hearing, so, and he did apparently waive his right to be extradited or whatever, so he will be extradited and probably be in court again in about a week. But let me pull this up. All right, that's not it. Hold on. There's a local affiliate there that I've been watching to get. Where'd it go? I just had it on here. Oh, it's these people. Okay, hold on. Okay, they haven't aired it yet. I'm still waiting on that. Hold on. Let me get it back. All right, let me keep an eye on chat too. My screen restream is acting a fool this morning, or it was earlier, and I had to delete the whole show and redo it. So it's kind of giving me a fit. I feel like it's one of those days. Like I guess it's Monday or something, right? I don't even know. I think it is. All right. Okay, let me get to the right thing here. It hasn't aired on. I guess they recorded it and they're going to be putting it out because people haven't put it out there yet, but there are several waiting. So we are keeping an eye on that. And as soon as I see it pop up, of course, we'll have it up. Let me get to that local affiliate's got somebody in the courtroom, and that's really who I've been following. So I'm going to try to stick to that. I think Court TV's doing something on it, but you know how they are. They're showing 50 other things along with it. So, good morning, Dolphin. Welcome in. Welcome in, everybody. Technology is great until it isn't. Some days it's just, I don't even, it's like, it's whatever. You know, I feel like we're a society walking through the world just apologizing for everything constantly. Like people understand shit happens, right? It's like, come on. So yes, I apologize. Shit don't work right. It just don't work right. I ain't gonna let it stress me out for 100 years. Got enough of stuff to stress me out, right? I pick my battles and I pick them very carefully, incredibly carefully. I don't need all that negative energy bothering me. There's enough. There is enough. Yeah. All right, let me type this one thing in and I'll have it all ready to go. And then we'll get to the stuff that I wanted to show you guys. Stuff we're going to talk about. Now, I didn't go live all weekend. There were a lot of people just popping off with lives everywhere the minute the guy got arrested. And I'm like, I still need a little more. I need a little more than he got arrested. And I was busy and I was trying to take a break for the weekend because I got a whole bunch of cases on our plate. So, yeah, I just decided I'm just going to wait and do this on Monday and then we'll go over all the stuff. I do have all the stuff. And I posted some of it over to the community tab over the weekend. I'm sorry, guys. I've hit the wrong button 3 times trying to look for something, and it's right here in my face now. So I'll be with you in just a second. That was my bad. Um, Here we go. Okay. Today's probably one of them days I need one of them fancy producers because my mind is in 100 places at one time. Butterfly, if you're listening, okay, thank you. Thank you. I just saw that. My girl keeps me in line. Okay, here we go. Now I've got the right affiliate. And I know they had a thingy scheduled. Let me see. Where'd it go? Did they take it down? Wow. And why do people put stuff up and take it down? That's so weird. Hold on. I don't know where their thingy went. They had a live feed get ready to start soon, but it doesn't look like it's here now. Crazy. Hmm. And it was saved in my playlist for the day's show as well, and it's not there on there either. So I guess they did take it down. All right. Well, I'll get it up in just a second. Let's start what we're doing here. Let me move this out of my way now. Okay. All right. So those of you who have been following the story, here's McKee, Michael David McKee, and he's arrested for the murders of Spencer and Tepe. Spencer, of course, was 37 and Monique was 39. They had 2 young children, a 4-year old and a 1-year old. Um, got the wrong page there. I don't know. You might have enough time, Dolphin. I'm on my time today. Y'all might be here a minute while I think. I've really literally got way too many things on my mind at one time, and some of them have nothing to do with true crime, so it's kind of my fault. But we are here. We're here. Yeah. They haven't started the little, or no one's put the hearing out yet. They're all just talking about it. So I'm going to show you guys some stuff and talk about some stuff while we wait on it. So let's get back to it. The couple were found shot to death in their Wyland Park home located at 1411 North 4th Street in Columbus, Ohio, which is located in Franklin County, Columbus, Ohio, like I said. And it was, their anniversary was coming up here in January. So they were killed almost 3 to 4 weeks before their anniversary. Columbus Fire Department Medic 7 pronounced both deceased at 10:11 a.m. He was a dentist, of course. We've learned that. And Monique was a stay at home mom. And mad respect for the stay at home moms. I know I was one of those for a long time too. And I worked outside the home, done it both. Preferred to be a stay at home mom. So shout out to the stay at home moms. You don't get enough of your credit, you know, contributing to society and all. Spencer's coworkers began to call 911 because they knew something was wrong, right? Now, we all heard the 911 calls. And in the beginning, people were pointing fingers at the callers. Oh, they're calling. They had to do something. They did that. It's weird because do we want to live in a society where we say, call, do something. And then the minute people do, people want to pick it apart and say, oh, they were being weird. Actually, the cops were the ones being weird, right? And I think they owe every single 911 caller a huge ass apology. The responding officer who was initially responding to the call for the welfare check, he goes to the wrong house. Dolphin says, I don't know how those stay-at-home moms do it. Oh, I liked it better. I like to raise my babies myself, but hey, when you have to work, you have to work. I get it. I do. I respect all of them. But for a long time in this country, stay-at-home moms were looked down upon. And I think a little bit of that still happens in today's society. That's just my personal opinion looking from the outside in. So much put on that, What do you do? What do you do? I stay at home and raise my babies. Oh, wow. Poor you. It was a choice. I decided some things I just didn't need in life. Shiny objects didn't matter as much. Hey, Happy, welcome in. Happy, I needed that relaxation session earlier. It came at the perfect time. Happy knows what I'm talking about. A girl's got us. She's got our back. And who knew, Happy, that I would find my way back to every winter I say I go within, I start doing my energy work. I'm getting back into that. I found help in the least likely place, right? Go Gigi. Shout out to Gigi in the Alibars Lounge. Thank you, ma'am. When I need that downtime, I'm there. So fucking relaxing. And I was actually able to sit down and focus and get a little work done. I probably didn't stay in there long enough. All right. Happy it was a nice surprise to find it last week when I found it. And I was like, what's she doing over here? Like, oh, everybody's just chilling. I would so much. That is me in real life. I'm going to be over there hanging with the chilled women, not those backstabbing idiot bitches across the highway like, Lauren. That ain't never been me in my real life. So I can't do it on the internet either. It's just so gross. So we know the responding officer initially went to the wrong home, and the caller indicated they couldn't reach Spencer or his wife, which was even more concerning. When he said that in the 911 call, he said, "We can't reach Spencer. He's a show up guy. This is out of character, but we can't even reach his wife, and that's more concerning." I literally said out loud to myself, "Why is that more concerning?" There was something to that because the family knew. To the extent of what this guy was doing, allegedly, we don't know. I don't know if it ever rose to a level legally to be considered stalking. That's what we're going to kind of look at today. Dolphin, Dolphin says, I ain't got enough practice to deal with them kids. Like, Dolphin's like, I'll just be the cool aunt. Take them back to your house after I finish my visit. Parenting is hard. People who claim it's easy, it can be very easy. I think you make it harder than it has to be sometimes, but it ain't always easy. A lot of long nights and dirty stuff to clean up. But hey, it's all worth it. I do think they knew Dolphin because statements have been made in a couple of articles, and we're going to take a look at it. And I even think that the brother in law who's been speaking out has said something now. Um, so, yeah, there was some indications. They just didn't say it on the 911 call. And apparently, I don't have no clue if they took anything this guy was doing seriously. We don't know what he was doing, but they must have something to show premeditation because his charges were upgraded. And then that document was removed from the docket. I'll show you the video on that. Butterfly and I both saw it. We're like, whoa, did you see this? I was like, yeah. At the same time, it's like she and I do that all the time. We're like, did you see this at the same exact time? Um, but they did do that. Let me pull that up and we'll watch that real quick. I'm going to show you guys the probable cause here. Well, okay, that is that. Let me get to the. Okay. Okay, this was the local affiliate here. This is what they reported. I didn't check the actual docket yet. I didn't have time to do it before we came live. All right, so here is this.
Well, in less than 24 hours, the man Columbus police say murdered Spencer and Monique Tepe will make his first appearance in an Illinois courtroom. We're talking about Monique Tepes' ex-husband, Michael McKee. Yesterday morning, he was arrested in Rockford, Illinois, and that's where he'll face a judge before being extradited to Ohio. Also, this is a screenshot from the Franklin County Municipal Court website earlier this afternoon. It shows McKee's charges upgraded to premeditated.
All right, see there, for some reason they took this back out of the docket. I'm assuming it's been put back, but his charges were upgraded to aggravated murder premeditated. So to get to premeditation, you got to have some kind of proof, right? Was it premeditated because he drove 400 plus miles to commit the crime? Is there digital evidence that he did things to plan for it, right? So they upgraded his charges to premeditated. Now, under their law, let's see, when I was on that website earlier, the charges were upgraded to premeditated murder. His warrant was issued January 10th. To legally qualify as an aggravating circumstance, the killer must commit murder with prior calculation and design under the statutes in Ohio. So I don't know what they got on him to consider it premeditated unless the drive there alone, right? You had plenty of time to change your mind between your house and theirs. So I don't know what that's about, why they took it out.
Aggravated murder, but that filing has since disappeared from the website. We're continuing to ask where that went and are waiting for answers tonight. Also, 10 TV's Kristen McFarland has been following this story for us throughout the weekend. And Kristen, of course, we've learned that McKee has family in the Zanesville area, and you're back there tonight. What have you been able to learn for us?
Colin, yes, this is the second day I've been in Zanesville trying to make contact with the McKee family for comment, but so far we have not been able to reach them. This is what we know about Michael McKee tonight. The 39-year-old is now accused in the deaths of Spencer and Monique Tepe. McKee is Monique Tepes' ex-husband. The two were married for a couple of years but divorced in June 2017. Investigators Monday released video showing a person walking through an alley near the couple's Wineland Park home. According to investigative records, that person is believed to be McKee. Detectives say the video ties him to a car seen arriving just before the shooting and leaving moments after. That car was later found in Rockford, Illinois, and police confirming McKee is the registered owner.
Now, right there, that's the only place I've heard them say registered owner. Because there's some chatter out there. Was it a rental car? Could have very well damn well been. We don't know. Either way, it was traced back to him. Doesn't matter if it was a rental car or his car, it was traced back to him. But that's the only place I've heard it was registered to him. So if this car was registered to him, it certainly was no rental car. That was a theory, but a good one.
Now, of course, we know that McKee is expected to appear in a Winnebago County, Illinois courtroom tomorrow. Colin.
All right, Kristen, thanks. And of course, we've been working to bring you the latest updates on this story since last month. This all started December 30th when police found the couple at their home on North 4th Street. Police were called for a wellness check when Spencer Tepe did not show up to his Athens dental office. Police also say their two children, a 4-year-old daughter and 17-month-old son, were both found in the home, thankfully physically unharmed. And 10 TV's Lacey Crisp has been covering this tragic killing of Spencer and Monique Tepe from the very beginning. She's on the road right now to Rockford, Illinois, where Michael McKee was arrested and is currently being held. As we've told you, McKee is scheduled to appear there in court tomorrow afternoon. Lacey will be in that court.
Okay, well, Lacey needs to bring us an update. But yeah, so his charges were upgraded. So I wonder too, do they have a record yet? Because he just got arrested. They got to get into the phone data. They got to do all these warrants and get into things. What do they know so far other than his car was seen there? That's huge. If apparently this is not going to be grainy Koberger type footage of a car. Is it a, what kind of car is it kind of saga? They have to see a license plate clearly for it to get tracked back to him. Think about how long they took them to track that white Elantra, whatever that was, back to Coburger. They never did. Honestly, they never did until that name came down from oh hell, that is the car after all. Yeah, that's how that worked, let's be honest. So this can't be grainy car footage if they were able to track it back to him. It has to be a license plate capture. Now that took me back to them, the authority, the guy that called in to the 911 on the dispatch call we heard, talking about that big the crime camera right there on the corner. And I wonder, well, is that the camera that sees this person or car coming and going? But if you look at the video of the person walking down the alley, if they are convinced it's the guy here on the screen, then I know where he was walking from, right? He didn't enter right there beside their home. He came down the other way. So he must have parked down that way somewhere. So we need to go see if there's any cameras down there. We'll go look. We'll go look. And we know that the initial call came in like at 8:58 a.m. Now, Dr. McKee here is a vascular surgeon, and he was licensed in Illinois, California, and Nevada. There was some chatter over the weekend about a malpractice suit he's possibly involved with several other doctors out of Nevada. I looked into it. It's there, but you can't find out any information. I don't know what it's about or if it's even really him, because there's all that confusion. Oh, yeah, that's the wrong guy kind of thing, whatever. People can do them. Turns out he was the right guy when people were first looking at certain things. Now, Monique was married to McKee in 2015. 7 months later, she left. There is a text message allegedly floating around out there that I've not seen with my own eyes. I heard somebody read it, but they didn't show the text message, which gives me pause. I don't need to, just don't read it just and say it's legit. How do you know, right? But she allegedly wrote her friend about how she was planning to leave this guy, and she apparently left while he was at work, right, to get away from him. So she was doing all the things that she needed to do, I guess. Got divorced, made it an easy divorce, apparently, because we got all their 55-page document, and there was nothing to fight over, not even any children, right? I heard somebody say over the weekend, well, this was about the dog. And I thought, the dog? Well, how old is this darn dog now? He's just now deciding he wants his dog back, and now two babies have no mom and dad over this man's dog? No, it can't be over the damn dog, right? It just can't be. Sandy, why are you feeling validated? Because you called it was him? Oh, y'all talking about something else? Y'all talking about something else? I think. Now, Spencer and Monique were married January 30th of 2021. They met online. You put a 2-minute clip in our chat about what? It's hard for me to follow y'all's conversation when I'm reading from my notes and talking, and I glance over. I'm like, so hold on, y'all. Give me a second to read the chat. If I ever go silent, know she's reading chat, because I'm just trying to be like, what in the world's happening? Y'all talking about construction adhesive. Lord, y'all gonna stick people to something? Okay. All right, let me get to this. I mean, it feels like a weird day, guys. Like, I just had this feeling and I can't shake it, and I don't know what the hell it is. I don't like it when I get like that. All right. Okay, the screen is acting so wonky on Restream. They need to get it together. Is it up there yet? Okay. All right, this is that 911 call that I was talking to you guys about, where you can hear him say, and we can't reach her either, which is more concerning. Why would it be more concerning? That was my first thought when he said that. That's odd. Not meaning that, something like the couple would have done something to each other. That was not my first thought. It was an odd statement.
Police Tech 107.
Yes, I would like to ask for a wellness check on an individual at their home. This individual, Spencer, works with me, and he did not show up to work this morning, and we cannot get a hold of him or his family. He is always on time, and he would contact us if there is any issues whatsoever. And I just don't know how else to say this. We're very, very concerned because this is very out of character. And we can't get in touch with his wife, which is probably the more concerning thing.
Okay, we will send somebody over as soon as we have an officer available.
Can't reach his wife either, which is probably the more concerning thing.
The emergency there, police or medical?
Maybe both, I guess. I don't know. I'm kind of doing the wellness.
We had a call out there. They knocked on the front door and back door multiple times, and there was no answer.
Yeah, no.
Well, maybe because there was nobody home at the house on the next street over. And he didn't look in windows. I got the video proof. Oh, he stared at one from a distance.
Answer. I can hear kids inside, and I swear I think I heard one yell, but we can't get in.
What's the emergency there?
Our boss did not report to work. We haven't been able to get a hold of him for 3 hours. We are on site, and we can hear kids
Okay, I
inside.
just talked to somebody there.
Okay, I'm just making sure somebody called.
What's changed since the last person I talked to?
There's a body.
There's a body.
Yeah, I've thought about that, Dolphin, but now that I've seen statements they've made in the articles, my thought went right back to my first thought. There's something more that these people know that we don't know.
The inside?
Yeah.
Okay, hold on 1 second. Let me get you on the line with the medic, okay? Stay on the line.
He appears.
And honestly, a stay-at-home mom's got her hands full. We got the laundry going. We got babies to feed, babies to bath. I might be in the toilet. I may not answer the phone the second you call me. There was a point in time I never had a phone glued to my hip, right? So, and trust me, I'm that woman. If I'm busy in the house and my phone starts ringing, I'm not running to the phone. I will get back to you in a second. I'm busy. And trust me, if it's my family and it's a 911 thing going on, they're going to blow my phone up and I'm going to know to go get it. But if it just rings and I'm in the middle of something, I'll call them back.
Dead. There's blood. He's laying next to his bed, off of his bed, and there's blood. I can't get closer to see more than that.
You can tell he's obviously not breathing or anything.
Yeah.
Okay, we do have officers responding there. Do you know if he's been ill or anything like that?
No, I was just with him yesterday.
These guys, because as you pointed.
I can't with Julie Brown. I have to get her off of there. Yeah, Rachel, we're all grown-ups here. Right, we understand they have tough jobs, the dispatchers, we get it. But I also know doctors have very bad side manners, and I literally kicked one out of my son's room one time. Don't come back. Don't step foot back in this door, you rude asshole. And the hospital said, yeah, you're right, ma'am. He can't go back in there. And they agreed. So the fact that we could hear the dispatch being rude, and the fact that we can hear the cops say, well, who sees a body? I went to being so arrogant about it, acting as if the callers were just overreacting. Dolphin, she just gets on my nerves. It's just me. It's a me thing. It's just her. She's not real. Let me put it that way. I've seen too much. She gets on my nerves. And, Banfield gets on a lot of folks' nerves, but doesn't get on mine. Kind of like Nancy Grace. Some hate her. Some are like cool with her. Julie's just not for me. I did make a little TikTok about her one time and called her a fired up Julie because she got all fired up about Delphi one time. And then she was like, peace out on this story. I came in, made it look good, got me some views, and peace back out on that whole case. That guy did it. It was Julie Brown on Court TV, y'all. It ain't no big deal. I just don't care for her personally. I don't want to watch her right now. There's plenty of people to watch out there besides that woman. And she's just regurgitating what the producers tell her to say. Let's be real. Now the word's going to get back to her that I don't like her. Cause some drama on the internets. Who gives a flying shit rat's ass, right? Okay. Now I wanted to show this because she says some interesting things here. Yeah, Julie on Court TV. Everybody knows who she is if you watch Court TV. And I'm assuming if people in true crime are true crime followers, they watch Court TV. So I guess y'all all know who she is. Okay. Watch this. Now, the brother-in-law who did the video for the wedding has a YouTube channel because this is what he does. He's got a bunch of weddings on there, right? This guy's really good at what he does. But pay attention to the things that Monique says.
Dear Momo, I feel so lucky to be up here with you today. You've grown to become my best friend, and together we're surrounded by friends and family who are fortunate to be able to say the same. We're so lucky. Our support system is immense, and you embracing Larry, my crazy group of friends, and my loud family like you have means the world. I vow to support you, to believe in you, and to encourage you. I vow to provide for you. I vow to never stop loving you and to always keep working on us. And lastly, I vow to do my best to always keep making you laugh because your smile is my favorite thing. I love you.
Smile and tell me I'm the lucky one, and we've just begun. I think I'm gonna have a son. He will be like she and me, as free as a dove, conceived in love. The sun is gonna shine above. And even though we ain't got money, I'm so in love with you, honey, and everything will bring a chain of love. And in the morning when I rise, bring a tear of joy to my eyes and tell me everything's gonna be
First of all, thank you for everyone here, families, friends, all the friends at Zoom, and the families out there. Thank you. The brooms and the bride, they want to say thank you very much for the attendance, and thank you for your contributions and happy thoughts. You know, I'm going to start out with a little story. You know, I was kind of taken back.
Now, he is Monique's father. Yeah, HTC, this, I didn't realize how hard this hit me till over the weekend. Yeah.
You know, when Monique approached me a couple weeks back and said, "Hey, Dad, I want you to do the ceremony for me," and she told me, "Hey, I think I found a guy that's just as good as you." I said, "Whoa!" In the back of my mind, I'm thinking, "Wait a minute, we got to put this to the test." So, yeah, I did my research, did my analysis, and put all the checks in the squares that I wanted to, and the end conclusion is, hey, he is better. Darn it. And I wish I can take the honor, but that honor goes to Tim and Yvonne. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
And for Monique, all I can say is this, Spencer, you know, as far as I'm concerned, she can be an 80-year-old lady walking down the streets, and I'll just be yelling, "That's my baby."
Oh.
Spencer, what can I say? From day one, I knew you were something special. I had quite a journey to get to you. Countless bad bumble dates, wrong relationships, and...
All right. Wrong relationships and a hard, that road traveled to get to him. And too many women in this country have to deal with this every single day of their lives. And women like Lauren Matthias want to get out here on the internet for 9 hours and cry about a little girl on the TikTok.
waterfalls of tears. But it was worth every cringing second because it led me to you. Throughout all of this, I knew that God was guiding me to my person.
Is that what everybody's talking about? He's trying to drum up money for his business through, oh God, the fuck.
And that when I met him, it would be the most magical thing ever.
I also had somebody come and chat, Thursday or Friday, when I don't remember what day, talking about, oh yeah, check out their late night swinger type parties. I'm gonna hold off on all that now.
And boy, is that an understatement. I finally found my lobster, and it honestly couldn't be a person with a more beautiful heart. I will love you forever, and I'm so lucky to be Mrs. Tepe.
By the power vested in me by the Universal Life Church and by the state of Ohio, I now pronounce you husband and wife. Give me a kiss to bride. To everyone,
Larry does not.
I'd like to present to you Mr. and Mrs. Tepe.
And even though we ain't got money, I'm so in love with you, honey, and everything will bring a chain of love. And in the morning when I rise, bring a tear of joy to my eye and tell me everything's gonna be alright.
Sandy, well, she was married to McKee from 2015. Their divorce was finalized in 2017. She married Spencer in 2021. So it's not been 8 years since, you know what I mean? I mean, it's 2025, but between the time of the weddings, there wasn't 8 years in between. It's like 4.
Cheers.
I've been very fortunate to stay close to them and to get them to get to know them really well. They've quite literally given me food, shelter, clothing, and drink, and I'm so happy to have you guys in my life.
You know, I've seen you with your ups and downs and trying to find your person. And when Spencer came into the picture, I've never seen you so happy, and it's never seemed just so right. I'm so happy to call you a brother. So happy you're part of the family. Because as my sister said in her vows, like, you let her be her. I love you both.
We love you too.
Yes. So, congratulations.
Are you with me tonight? Are you with me tonight? Yeah, are you with me tonight? If so, you're gonna be alright. Hey, how you doing tonight? I think you're gonna be alright. Oh, hey, you know what I mean? Sexy, shake the body for me. Come on, oh, we ain't gonna stop. So everything the sky will drop. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. This is your uncle. Hey, how you doing tonight? Oh, I think you're gonna be alright. Oh, hey, you know what I mean? Sexy, shake the body for me. Come on, oh, we ain't gonna stop. So everything the sky will drop. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. This is your uncle.
The brother-in-law did a darn good job on that video. And one day their children will be able to watch that, and have that little bit of their parents. Because it's really sick and sad that this man and the dolphin about the dogs. These dogs are not guard dogs, because that is the second horrendous crime scene we've seen that has a dog like that in it. And this is too. So I wonder now, we don't know how he made way into the house, right? Because they said no forced entry. And the fact that they got the time of death, at 3:52, I'm assuming that's because they see the car, coming or arrive, and then this person walk down the alley, possibly him, or they pinpoint in the time of death like that, and then the car leaves. No forced entry. So how did the guy get in? Did he show up at the door? And they're like, "What are you doing at our door?" And he's in, or what? How, we don't know that part of it yet, and that's what is the crazy stuff. Now let me pull up this. I think it's this one. I can't see. Let me make this bigger for myself here. Okay, so this is, I gotta check my messages, hold on. Okay, thanks, Butterfly. She's on the road trying to communicate. She's trying to produce for me behind the scenes, and I see it now. Thank you. We'll get to that. Thank you, and thank you, Rachel. My girls have got my back. All right, let me pull this up and I can read it to you guys because I can't see it good enough. Okay. So this is the probable cause affidavit in support of his arrest. Of course, it gives the officer's name, Weiner 1842, personal knowledge of the facts listed in the statement. Now, we've read a lot of PCAs around here. This is a very short one, right? So the summary of statement of the facts in support of probable cause. On December 30th at 9:57 a.m., Columbus patrol officers were dispatched to 1411 North 4th Street on a check on the well-being of Dr. Spencer Tepe, who had not shown up for work. Officers arrived and found Dr. Tepe and his wife, Monique Tepe, deceased inside, suffering from gunshot wounds. 2 minor children were found inside the home unharmed. Columbus Fire Medic Number 7 responded and pronounced both victims deceased at 10:11 a.m. Columbus Police Homicide Unit 2 was advised, responded, and initiated an investigation. During the subsequent investigation, detectives were able to identify a suspect through neighborhood video surveillance. This suspect was tracked to a vehicle which arrived just prior to the homicides and left shortly after the homicides. The detectives were also able to identify this vehicle further and link it to Michael McKee. Detectives located the vehicle in Rockford, Illinois, and found evidence of McKee in possession of the vehicle prior to and after the homicides. Now, 450 miles away, and there's the main page of the document, and it's just got all the legal information there listed, but none of the information like we see here. And literally, that's all we know that they have so far is this car on camera. Now, if it was just a car on camera, we'd be like, we need to see more. But they are alleging that they know it's his. So then that took me back to that video of the person in the back alley. Oh, wait, let me go check what my mods sent me first. Hold on, let me do that. Okay, thank you. All right, we got it now. Heck. All right, let me go get it this way because it's not going to work that way. And this is the one they had the live feed out, or that I thought I had saved that they took down. Okay. All right. Let me see if this is the correct one. Oh, here we go. Got it. All right, got the court feed. Thank you, Rachel. Thank you, Butterfly. On screen yet? There we go. Okay, let's watch this.
All in favor of Michael McKee?
Third reporter, the defendant is present in custody.
Your name, sir, for the record? Michael McKee. Have you had a chance to speak with him?
Yes, Your Honor.
What's your position at this time?
Yes, at this time, Your Honor, on behalf of Mr. McKee, I will assert his right to counsel. I will assert his right to remain silent. And Mr. McKee believes that the most expeditious manner in which he may defend himself against the charges pending in Ohio and to plead not guilty would be to waive his right to an extradition hearing and to have a governor's warrant and to agree to his immediate transportation to Ohio.
Understood. Thank you. We will set this matter then for 2 o'clock on Monday for status on the transfer.
Thank you.
Anything else we can do today?
That would be
Thank you, Craig. Thanks, everyone.
All right. Well, that was it. Short and sweet. Um, yeah, Dolphin. Now he did file something recently in the court, and it looks like it pertained to the divorce with her, with Monica, but we don't see what it's about. We can't tell what it's for. And there's so much speculation out there, it's insane. Um, but I haven't seen anything to even show that it pertained to her, right? What could there left to be fight about when their divorce was amicable, or in the end, and she paid for rings and stuff. Now, considering that he killed them in the early morning hours, they were in bed asleep. Now, he's a professional. They have young children. They're probably going to be up early in the morning, but he shows up before they actually can get up. Or the dog's even barking. Do these dogs even bark? I'm conflicted. I can't go by Murphy because that dude just barks at a whim. The wind could blow, and I think Murphy might bark. He might not. So I don't know nothing about these types of dogs. I like beefy dogs that are gonna bark. So I don't know nothing about these little dogs. But how do you make your way into a home without forced entry? Well, Koberger did it apparently too. Made his way into the home, right past the dog, and done what he wanted to do. And we still don't know what the hell Murphy was running around doing, but yeah, they're very friendly dogs. I mean, you can't blame dogs, but also at the same time, if I like a guard dog, I want my dog to bark and alert and let me know things are happening. That's that's just me. But I wonder if hold on a second, guys. Sorry, my sister needed something. Um, I don't think he was familiar with their home layout unless he went online and looked at the floor plans, right? Um, we don't know how long he apparently wasn't in the neighborhood long before he actually made his way into the house. Let's look at the video that we do have of the person that was walking down the back alley, and then we're gonna look at the map. I'll show you something. Uh-oh. I thought everything just went awry. Oh yeah, love always wins. Don't ever shush your dog, right? If they're I mean, you know what I mean. I'm that way. My dog's gonna hear you before I do, and I'm gonna follow their lead. And if I say watch it, my dog's gonna watch it. I had to remind my sister's dogs, y'all realize what kind of dogs y'all are, right? Act like it. Acting like little weenie dogs, your damn pit bulls. Get with the program. I've never seen such big babies for these types of dogs in my life. And I've raised them. Okay. Where'd he go? And did he do something like disable a system? right? Did he hack into something? People were saying things like that. Was there a way to bypass things? I'd have no clue. How are you going to get past people's cameras and their ring cams and all these things? Um, and we'll look at an article in a minute where the brother-in-law says they all apparently there was a family discussion happening, and somebody in the family finally says it could be McKee. But I don't think, from the way he talks in the article, nobody thought it was like that serious. But then again, the phone calls like we can't reach them and we can't reach her, and that's really concerning. It's like they knew, but maybe it never rose to the level that they thought it was super dangerous. I don't know. All right, let me get the right one with the right video in it. Here's this one. Okay, so if you look where he's walking, and uh-oh. Let's just mute her out for a minute because we don't need to hear her talking because it's going to tell us the same thing we've already heard 1,000 times. All right, so he's walking down. Now, considering what we saw in the height of him in the court a minute ago, it's hard to gauge that here, right? But it's kind of the same build if you look at it like that. Now, he's walking from, behind the home, but let's pull up the map and show it. And so I've heard that this guy had remarried after Monique and was already divorced again. I haven't seen documentation of that, but I heard about it, so I couldn't tell you if that happened or not. Probably did, but I haven't seen like a paper document on it or anything like that. Okay. So is this guy just the kind of guy that blamed her for everything that ever happened in his life? Okay. So here's their home here, obviously, where the arrow is there. Now, he was walking this way behind. Can you guys see my arrow? I don't know if you can. Yeah, Dolphin, you can see that he's tall. He came from this direction, that back here, and literally this direction is the way he came from. So where did he park, right? Were there the crime cameras on this corner like they are on the opposite end of the street? Did he come down 9th and then down the alley, right? Because he came from this direction walking this way. And then, of course, ends up behind their home. Now, right here on the corner at 8th is where the big crime camera is. We heard that in the dispatch call of him telling them, the dispatch guy telling them there's a camera there. Unless they turned it, it should be trained right on that house and should see anybody coming and going. So does the car pass through here? Is he stupid enough to park out in front? Did he come down here and park somewhere and another camera picks it up? And you know how we got the Coburger cameras all across town? What are we doing here? I don't know if any of those places have a camera on them or not. I'll look in a minute. But I was looking around to see if there was the crime camera here the way there is on the other corner. And there doesn't appear to be. And you can see the one down on the other corner. It's right here. Well, this is the older image. Where'd it go? It's not going to show it. Because there's a huge, I've got a picture of it. It's not showing on this one. Oh, it's got July 2025 on the thing. But there's a big white camera that's supposed to be there. Did I go down one? Yeah, on the wrong one. Okay, hold on. I wonder, all up and down the road though, to their place. We've seen what nighttime cameras show, right? Hey, what's going on here? Get out of the way. Okay. Ah, damn it. And that was the lot before the homes were built there. Their home was built there on the lot. Um, and that's why this image is why now it's not wanting to show me the latest dates again. They keep always do that. Anyway, there is a huge camera right there. Yeah, y'all all think the guy in the video appears kind of tall, right? Does his build appear to match what we saw in court? Like, is there a business down here? He would say, "Oh, that's a cool spot to park and walk down the road." You have this business here called Lab Alley, um, which is right next to the alley, right where he walked down. So some camera around there definitely saw that car come down that alley. I mean, people are just they just don't think, that urge, I guess, to do bad is so overwhelming. They just don't care if there's a consequence or a camera or, things that might see me. Um, we don't have a lot of alleys in our town. When I was a little girl, my aunt actually lived her property backed up to an old tiny alley. And I guess it, had been there for hundreds of years or whatever. We were never allowed to even go back there. My dad's like, "Don't you ever go in that alley." Like in the 70s, bad things happened in alleys. We just didn't move. We didn't. We ain't going to the alley. That's where the bad guys live. That's what we thought when we were kids. So it's hard to say which camera can see them. What were y'all comparing him to the garbage can or standing up? What was that? Oh, so Dolphin, you're kind of going by the height of the garbage cans too. Yeah, it appears to be the same type of build. But what in the world would possess this man after all this time to do this and take away these children's parents? I mean, what's going on here? My thing wouldn't pick up. Okay, let me pull up this article I was talking about. I think it was the Daily Mail article that they said it in. So if the family and the friends did know something, what we don't know what extent this went and what they actually knew. He walked right by it like he was towering over it, Dolphin. Yeah, he's not a whoever that was in the alley. Kind of does favor him, right? Let's see, which one is it? Oh, here it is. Got it. Oh. Man. I need to check, is Mercury in retrograde? This shit's messing with me today. All right. Okay, this is it. But it's confusing. Well, that's the wrong button. It's conflicting. Jesus. Sorry, y'all. Share screen, not camera. I don't need an extra camera. We don't even use the real one. All right. So, speaking ahead of the service, which was yesterday, Tepe relative who wished to remain anonymous told the Daily Mail that they were not surprised by McKee's arrest, but felt relieved to know their alleged killer is behind bars. It is absolutely no shock to anybody, and we had all expected it. But we weren't saying that because we didn't want to compromise the investigation. We are all breathing a bit of sigh of relief because they got him. When asked if they knew of any problems Monique and Spencer had with McKee recently, the relative replied, "Not that I'm aware of." So they knew something, but was it more than, how was he harassing her? That we don't know those details yet. So that'd be interesting um, to find out, at some point, because it doesn't make any sense. None of these crimes ever make any damn sense. We know that already. Um, you think Tepe is a little bit square? What do you mean? The husband? The wife? Yeah, the relatives know more. Was he harassing her, like calls her up, emails her, or did she have a feeling and she's like, these weird things are happening? She knew more about him than we all know. She didn't even stay married to the guy for 7 months and she was out, right? They got to, was it Virginia? And she wasn't there long when she was like, no, this isn't going to work. Yeah, we should know more will come out, especially during his trial, if he doesn't plea. Right? If he pleads out, we may not get a whole lot whatever's in discovery. But they got to develop evidence against him. Just like with any other case. Now, if I'm gonna put on my defense attorney hat, you got this car near your scene, and you tied it back to my guy, but that don't put him in the house, does it? We don't know. What kind of DNA are they finding in the house, right? Did now I know there's been we don't have you guys heard, because we heard report in the callers say that Spencer was partially off the bed. So the man never got out of the bed yet. We don't know where Monica was. Are we to assume she was on the bed because she was shot once? In my mind, I'm thinking if she's shot once and he is shot multiple times, she was shot first. That alerted him, and as he's getting up or stirring around, boom, 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 he's shot multiple times. Because you can't just do one if the person's moving. Why would you? It could have been him first, and she jumps up and runs across the room. But I feel like who knows? Either it could have went either way. Were they, with him? Maybe he was in bed and she was already up, right? Headed to the kitchen or something. I don't know. Yeah, he was next to the bed, Rachel. Well, the caller said partially on the bed. Hey, Miss Woozy, welcome in. Love always truth. Anders, great to have you guys in here. Thanks for coming in. Sandy, welcome in. Hey, Carrie, how you been? What you been doing? How's the baby? We haven't had a baby update in a while. All right, I don't know, guys. You think they were able to recover the weapon out of from his home, right? Did he think to get rid of it on the 400-mile journey back home? Probably. We'll take a confession to get it out of him where he put it, maybe. Were there, did we hear if there were bullet casings on the floor? Did he pick them all up and take them with him? If you fired more than one shot into a person, you may not find all your stray bullets. They could have rolled under the bed. You're in a hurry. You got to go, right? Did you get them all? Do they have one, or none? Did he shed any DNA while he was there? Oh, Miss Woozy, your grandma now? She is adorable. Well, congratulations. That's awesome. Yeah, Rachel, I would assume he would do the same thing, right? Pitch that gun on the trip back. I wonder if did he have his cell phone on the whole time, especially on the way home, right? Where they can do the tracking, see where the car was or where the data was. Um, can they pick him up on footage anywhere on the route? They got investigators canvassing that 400-mile radius, trying to figure out his route back. You think they found a casing? Let's see. Let's see if I can look that up. Let's see. Not well. Oh, never mind. User error. Okay, let me see if there's anything on here about it. I haven't seen that they did or didn't, honestly. They found 3 casings, Dolphin. I couldn't remember if I even heard that in this case or not. I had too many cases going on Friday. I had to put a couple of them down and focus. So, 3 casings, no forced entry. How can they tie? You got to tie the gun back to him. Like a purchase, even, right? Did he purchase it just before the crimes, months before, 2017? Did he carve something onto it? You know what I'm saying? When did he purchase? Is there a record of him purchasing a gun at all? People who really want to get their hands on one, who don't want a record of it, can usually find a way to get them. So will there be a paper trail of that, right? And if the type of if he purchased one in the past, would it be the same type as the casings came from, right? That would be good to know. Exactly, HTC. What will the car tell them? Did he get any blood spatter on him during the commission of the crime? And did it get into the car, right? Did he stop and change clothes out of his kill suit at some point? It's horrible at what this guy has done. And for seemingly no other reason than jealousy, because there's nothing there. It's not like she ran off with all your money, real life, went out and trashed you all over the places. We haven't heard any of that. The guy who could never get over it, is it that bad? We don't know what he was driving yet, Dolphin. Now, I haven't even bothered to try to look up any records on what kind of car the man had. I mean, there's a lot of research that goes into this, and sometimes I'm like, enough, I got to go to bed. But I haven't looked. I don't think anybody has said what kind of car and I haven't watched a lot of people's coverage, because when I'm doing this, I watch their stuff after I do my thing, right? Then I'll be like, oh, okay. But I haven't heard anybody say what kind of car he was driving, except for the whatever car shows up in the video, they tied directly back to him, whether that was a rental car or his own car. Now, if they get a rental car and they capture the license plate, it's going to come up rental car. And then if he rented it in his name, boom, there you go. Either way, it's, was tracked back to him. So, right. Did he snap, or was it a long time coming kind of thing, right? Um, I'm not buying that people just snap anymore. Like that show Snapped, people just snap. Well, shit, if people are snapping that easily, I'm staying at home. Apparently, they do snap that easily. You don't never know when you're going to trigger somebody at the grocery store. People need to get a grip on themselves. So if depending on what kind of car he had, Dolphin, right? Would there be onboard navigation systems? What would the car be able to yield as far as evidence like that? Any kind of digital footprint with the car? Yeah, Woozy, he could have been. For years, apparently, he was pining away. He didn't just wake up that day and decide, you know what? I'm getting her back. My life sucks. No, he didn't wake up that day and think that. He had been thinking it for an awfully long time, in my opinion. I could be really wrong about that. He just woke up and decided today's the day. But yeah, it feels like there was a lot more to it than that. Anderson, we ain't asking nobody in Delphi nothing. We do not need to know what kind of car it was out of Delphi, because none of them fools have any idea. Let's not collect that video. Let's just take a screenshot of the screenshots. We'll work it out in 5 years. Yeah, let's do that instead. Don't even get me started, man. Y'all know how to get me fired up. And Forrest was right. I do call her downtown Julie Brown, just like he does. I'm gonna be fired up like some downtown Julie Brown. For that Delphi mess. So it's hard for us to gauge what the family might have known. Now that surviving the survivor guy, he's been getting interviews with the brother-in-law. That's the only reason why I went and watched him the other day, because he had an interview with the brother-in-law, right? So I went and watched for that. I think he's got a show scheduled for this evening, because I saw it on my timeline earlier, and I wondered, would he have that guy on there talking again? But if the guy's smart, he's not going to be talking. Think about it. You got a pending court case. You don't need a brother-in-law out here spilling the deets on the streets about what this man had been doing, although we want to know. So thank you, Cassie. Yeah, Dolphin said that they did find 3 casings. I could not remember. There's so many details I've got stacked up and written down here. I don't know why they think it's okay. HTC, is it partly society? Is it part we still haven't got over all that back in the day, do what the men say thing, and we just, well, she should have acted better? I thought we were past all that, right? And why these men still, well, she should have got a restraining order. She should have done this. She should have. Do y'all know how many men have walked through a restraining order? It's a piece of paper. And you may not have time to call the cops to report he's just violated that piece of paper, because you might be dead by the time they get there. And you hope when you call, they're not claiming you're overreacting. And somebody tried to do a show the other day to go through all the signs of abuse. Monique apparently saw all the signs and did exactly what she was supposed to do. She got away from the guy. Years later, she's married, got a couple kids, living 450 miles away. It's like, we got to stop this shit. And we got to let them know society means business as a whole. It might be okay today to speak on it, and tomorrow it's just gone again till the next topic comes up, right? But there was a time in this country abuse wasn't even talked about. In the 1980s, a beautiful thing happened. It was called talk shows. There were a lot of stay-at-home mamas back in the 1980s raising their babies, living with men who were dangerous, not knowing what to do. Am I the only one? What's going on here? How does this work? And then these shows started airing, and people started talking about it, and women started listening, and they began to understand they weren't alone, and they began to understand these type of men can never change. It's very doubtful. He might chill with age a little bit, but overall, he's never going to change. It's not just men, but you're right, it's not just men, but by God, there's a whole hell of a lot more of them out there that do it. I don't fuck around with crazy women to start with. I try to leave them fools alone at all cost, but I'm never in relationships with them. These men tend to trick you, right? We're going to show up. We're going to be that guy. We can be the boy next door everybody loves. But behind closed door, you got the devil. And who's going to believe it? Because he's such a nice guy, right? Yeah. Women do it a little differently. They're like, oh, yeah, motherfucker, I'm pissed and I'm coming. They kind of just like put it out there. Men are sneaky little devils. They want to sneak around and stalk your ass. If a woman had done this, which I said in the beginning, it could be a woman. Maybe what if it was him? But something about her, my energy went straight to her. This is going to be not because of her, but connected to something to do with her. A woman could have easily walked in there and done the same thing, jealous over him. And at first, people are like, oh, the babies were left alone because it was female. Not every killer is going to be hurting babies, right? It's just horrible that this shit still exists and we still need to talk about it. And the fact that she did everything she was seemingly did all she could do to get away from him and went on and lived her life and happily, and it was pretty. The other day, when this first happened, I saw the people in chats going after the brother-in-law for talking on the social media, going after the 911 callers. They're acting suspicious. They're trying to get the cops over there. They're covered, all this weird stuff. Then chatters come in, oh, they were swingers. Stop it, right? Of course, we're going to speculate and wonder about things, but when we start throwing all kinds of weird stuff, I can't with all that. We got to slow down a minute, Oh, BK was a criminology student, all right. He messed up big time. He forgot his sheath. Rachel thinks they have a lot more evidence than we know about. Well, of course, we hope so. They're supposed to. But what do they have is my wonder. I expect them to have more evidence than a car placing him in the neighborhood. We got to place him in the house. These defense attorneys are too damn good at their jobs these days. They are too good at finding a loophole in the law. We saw how hard Ann Taylor was ready to roll until Mother said, no, you're going to get the death penalty and I can't take it. I'd rather see you just sit there for the rest of your life and die naturally. So we have to watch these defense attorneys. That's my worry. What do you have other than this car footage? I can't even call it grainy if you got a license plate off of it. It's got to be pretty darn good. They will release the proof eventually. I mean, but they should. We want transparency, because I'm not the one to come out the gate and yell conspiracy, but I'm also not the one to come out of the gate and yell bad cops. Now, I'm not happy with these damn cops, and I'm not happy with the 911 operators at all. But if they start coming out like the family and saying things, a defense attorney, if they're any good at their job, they're going to latch on to every bit of that, and that's what we don't want. Forrest says if they were charging with premeditated, that tells me they have more evidence. Exactly. What did they find, right, upon the initial investigation? Once they got him and got his phone, they've got to get a warrant to get to the data of the phone. But did they look in the phone and see things, right? Were they already able to tell about a gun purchase or anything like that? But the premeditation charge, Forrest, you're right, that says a lot. That's what I was wondering. Did they already get into some of his, unless he carried around a little notebook with him writing everything down, they would have had to get into his devices and computers and different things. I mean, this guy could have been sitting around plotting and planning stuff for a long, long time. He might have had a planning document. Yeah, that protecting the investigation, it's that catch-22 thing, right? Sometimes we're like, enough, give us more. And then sometimes like we get it, but I don't know where this camera was that sees the car and how good it was, but it had to be good enough to capture the license plate, because they can't just look at a car and go, okay, for example, white sedan, What kind of white sedan? Oh, Elantra will run a query. Oh, 13,000, right? Now you got to go look at all these different people. This one will apparently captured a license plate for them to track it back to him. And I wonder when they got the camera and actually saw that and put it together. Because he was the warrant for his arrest went out on the 10th and the murders were the 30th. Yeah, I'm okay with them releasing that camera photos. And if there's not a gag order, like on in this case when he gets to Illinois and gets an attorney there, and they actually can get discovery into the docket, that's when we can find out things, right? Unless they, like I said, put the big back gag order on it that everybody's screaming for these days. 1 minute is transparency. 1 minute, oh no, y'all are crazy on the internet. We got to put a gag order down. So we need to slow our roll so they don't blame us for the reason they decide to slap a gag order on something. Because that's what they're doing right now. We've seen it out in LA, twice back to back with autopsy reports and coroner fighting. Don't release that stuff, then big bad people on the internet will talk about it. We don't know how he got in the house, Eileen. That's one of the things that said no forced entry. So like Dolphin suggested earlier, I did see her comment, maybe hopefully the code wasn't something as simple enough as like her birthday. But then again, if that ring camera if he went through the front door like an idiot, did the ring camera not see it? Was everything disabled, disarmed, not on? Why have these things if they're not on? Did they have a ring camera in the back of the property? There's a camera back by the garage. So does the camera see the person walk into their yard even, or any of that camera back there? Yeah, that's what I said in the beginning, Dolphin. The act of just driving there to do it shows premeditation, because he would have had plenty of time to turn around and change his mind and go back, but he didn't. So that lends itself to premeditation, but I was wondering if they had something more also to go with that, because that's a good theory, right? In court of law, what's that going to do? We saw what Ann was fixing to do. I can't, I got to keep in mind these damn defense attorneys and what all they will try. I watched a damn thing last night. It was one of the 48 hours or something. And the damn defense attorney coming up with the craziest theories of why there was no gun found at the scene of a suicide. It was just insane, the stuff this man was throwing out there. I'm like, dude, you can't even be serious right now. What if it was the brother-in-law? Why would it have? Because he's the one that came out and spoke. So here's what we're fixing to do on the internet. None of these families are ever going to want to talk again. Are people going to want to come out and speak up? Are people going to want to call 911 in the future? Because the second a family member puts herself on camera, fingers are pointed. Is that the Jen Soto effect? Because we're all like, oh, that creep, right? We knew it. I don't have any reason to think it was the brother-in-law, and he wasn't the one arrested. So I don't know how it could be the brother-in-law. I think they would have known by now. Ain't nobody framed nobody. Why did he sound suspicious? I saw people on the internet going after that guy the minute he showed up on the screen, but that's what I'm saying. Well, the brother-in-law hasn't been transparent, apparently, about what all Monique had been through with McKee, but the cops knew about it. The family and friends, once they began talking amongst themselves, they ended up telling the cops. And then also you go and see, okay, well, there's his car right there too. People want to go after the brother-in-law, they can have at it when they find some receipts on, anything to back up that he's the real suspect. They're certainly welcome to share it with us and we'll roll with it. I'm sure they know his timeline and asked everything about him. Are people really still wondering if this is the right guy? This guy? I mean, why? Of course, I got questions if all you got's the car in the neighborhood, but I have no suspicions on that brother-in-law yet. I just saw people trying to tell me I should be suspicious of him. Well, Rachel, so when somebody reaches out to a family member and asks for a statement or a comment and they agree, but they can't share all they know, I don't have a problem with that. If they knew there was a possibility, as long as they told the cops, they ain't got to say it on the interview. Really, they probably shouldn't even be doing interviews because people are going to say things like that, right? 352. Rachel, they got the time of death or the time of the incident listed at 3:52 a.m. So I'm assuming they're going by what time they see the car, what time they see the guy coming down the alley, and what time that car leaves, right? But they sure got that time down, don't they? That's a good question, Dolphin. I wondered that as well. It's why we need to get that phone data, right? We like, was the phone turned on or was it off? We know what that means, right? He didn't need to clear his name. He wasn't even a suspect. He was a suspect on social media. But damn, there's 1,000 suspects on social media. So I don't know. I have no, I don't know what to say about all that. You're welcome to your thoughts, but I just don't feel like he's a part of it at all. I know one thing, something bad happens in my family and I come on the video, if I come out and talk, people point fingers at me, I'm knocking on your damn door. Excuse me? What you got to say to me? You can say a lot of things sitting behind that keyboard, but you better say it to my face now. It's a lot of that goes on. Yeah, as long as they told law enforcement guys if they're suspicion. Yeah, I get it. Didn't if you feel like he was suspicious, that's fine. I mean, it happens. But I think everybody around here feels like like barking up the wrong tree, maybe. I don't know. I mean, could they go ask his wife, was your husband home? Jeez. Can we check your phone data? All the things, right? Okay, let's see. Let me hold on a second. The internet's acting funny. Oh, there it went. Um, right, Dolphin. What will a defense come up with? If he allows a defense at all, he may be one of those guys that's like, yeah, okay, I did it. I'm gonna wait when he goes to plea, we'll find out. But it will be interesting to see what kind of defense they would have. And so what if he says he went down for like a convention or a conference? Well, you better hope there was one actually in town that day. And what if there was and it was planned to go then, right? You can say, well, I was in town for this and that. Well, we got to go verify this and that was actually happening. Like this, we just gonna take your word for it. Yeah, Happy. It's the way of the world. Look, it's the way it is anymore on the internet. There's you know, that group that are just always going to go after the wrong people. Always. So take where you get your true crime content from seriously. If they're over there calling shade on certain people that you're like, what? Then you got to worry about their critical thinking skills. It's okay to ask a question and say what, but then to keep on about it when somebody else got arrested, quite ridiculous. Anytime any family member speaks out about cases, somebody's always got something to say about them. So I can't, we can't let what all they all say affect us. Dolphin, he lived in Lincoln Park. Oh, Lord. Rachel says that they're supposed to be pretty transparent in Ohio. I don't know. I have never dove into any cases out of Ohio, Rach, so we'll find out. They got a nice. I haven't even tried to look at their docket. I think I did Saturday. I had a lot going on Saturday. I was bouncing around doing different things. Then I put it all down for a while. Yeah, it's been a hot mess weekend for me. I wonder how long it'll take before he's actually got a plea date coming in, arraignment rather, in Ohio. And we'll see what his plea is at that point, right? No, Monique was not involved with any other men that we are aware of. People have tried to allude to stuff, but without a receipt, of course. It's just their. Okay, I don't know who you are or where you're getting all this information from. They should. Yeah, thank you. Thanks. Bye now. All right. It's because I can't with that shit. I'm just going to be honest. I cannot anymore. Go sit here and argue with somebody about that. Go, if you're fine. If you think that person did it, you can leave the chat now. We're good. You're curious about that 911 call? They said it was a friend, that it wasn't her. Maybe it was called from outside the home, but she was at the home. I don't know a whole lot about all that except for what's been released. They had a gathering at the home that night. This girl calls 911. Now, the fact that the cops didn't treat her good either on the caller. Oh, everything's okay? You're sure? Okay, bye. You know, I don't know what that was about, but I don't know that that's even tied to this. That's, when these cases come up and like, well, this one thing happened, and people automatically want to tie it to what just happened. And a lot of times we can't. Do we all have these nice little cush lives where nothing ever happens? Do you have a bad day, a bump in the street, right? You know what I'm saying? There's always a bump in the road somewhere in someone's life, and then something tragic happens. That little bump is discovered, and then it becomes part of this, and when half the time it's not. But I've listened to the 911 call. I've heard what the family has said, and at this point, I don't think there's any connection whatsoever to that girl calling 911 about her boyfriend. That's all we know about it, is this, we don't know what happened to the girl, where she is, who she was. But people always go back when something happens and they start digging, and they, to find stuff, and that was discovered and put out there. Of course, everybody wondered, what's happening with this call, because that made you wonder, was there something going on in that home where there's a repeat pattern of cops being called and things like that? But there was never any cops called out there other than that one time. Yes, HTC victim, exactly. It's disgusting blaming victims with no receipt. And I've seen a lot out there. Even like I said the other day in my chat, somebody came in about that April call, and they had swinger parties. Like, where's your receipt? You assume it was a swinger party because they had a gathering? How many of y'all host all the family gatherings in your home? Why would it be weird, right? We see normal people and we're like, oh, they're weird. And I'm like, I cannot with society anymore. I don't know what the hell's happening. One day we're this, one day we're that. It's like, stand in your convictions and mean something, It's like, one day we want transparency, one day we don't. One day we're good with close to the vest, one day we're not. I just got my feelings straight across the board about it. Exactly, Woozy. If they led that type of a lifestyle and they were having a swingers party, okay, what does that mean, right? That means they did something wrong? Yeah, their lifestyle, if that was what they chose to do, doesn't make them guilty for causing whatever happened, right? Yeah. But people were honestly trying to throw shade about that, coming in saying stuff like that, and it's ridiculous. Who cares if they were? What does it matter, But apparently that wasn't the case. They hosted football games and the family gatherings. They were that house, right? And that's quite normal in families. There's always going to be that one or two houses that usually host everybody. And that's why I got a huge family. That's the way it's always been. We're going to her house. We're going. That's just the way it is. And for people to think that that's abnormal is weird to me. It's like, are y'all the abnormal ones? You don't know what normal looks like? Have we gotten away from what normal is supposed to look like, that when normal shows up, we're suspicious of it? I don't understand. I just don't get it. I know one thing that annoys me, and that was that cop, Mr. Whistling Dixie or whatever the hell he was doing. Hang on a second. Oops. Okay. It's quite annoying, to be honest, to listen to this call, because we hear so many 911 calls, and we hear how a lot of these operators are so good at their jobs, and then you hear these ones, and I'm like, such an insult. People saying it was sus he lives so far from work. I'm from a tiny town in America, but I am not an idiot, and I understand that people who live in these big cities usually commute like an hour to work. Like, I've known that since 1980 something. Since 1980 something, I've known people that live in the burbs commute to work. So, okay, right? They can just keep thinking that weird shit, Rach. Fucking society's weird.
Oh my God.
So are people saying she had an affair with her ex-husband? Oh, good Lord. Thank you, mods. Do your thing. And if she was, it'll come out eventually. When it does come out, then we have receipts to talk about it. Until then, we don't.
All fire and EMS operators are currently handling other calls. Please stand by for the
Stay
next
on the line. We
available
got
operator.
patrol on the way, and then I'm transferring you over to the medics. Okay, what's the emergency there? Police or medical?
Maybe both, I guess. I don't know. I'm kind of doing the
We
wellness.
had a call out there. They knocked on the front door and back door multiple times, and there was no answer.
Yeah, no answer. I can hear kids inside, and I swear I think I heard one yell, but we can't get in. At this point, I don't know if I need to break the door in or just get in the house or what. So.
Okay, were you out there when the police was out there?
I wasn't. I just got here about 5 minutes ago.
Okay, all right. Well, we'll send them back out to you.
1411 North 4th. Part of that incident from earlier, caller saying they can hear kids inside. Thought you heard one of them yelling. Now we're getting another call saying there's a body inside. Esther, if you can copy.
Who's saying there's a body inside?
There's no name yet.
That's 3, I copy.
Okay, because I knocked on the front and door, and I looked through the windows, but I didn't see anybody.
And he kind of giggled. I knocked on the front and back doors and looked in the windows. I didn't see anybody. No, you didn't. You didn't look in the window. You did, but from a distance. Jerry, I haven't seen. I've looked at the dockets, her entire divorce docket. I've got all 55 pages of the divorce itself, and you can access the dockets. I've not seen any receipts that she filed anything recently in court. Now, did she recently file stalking allegations against him? If they're out there, nobody's dug it up yet. There's no receipts of it. From what we understand, she didn't have anything orders against him. So I don't know. Now, we don't know why they decided to live where they lived and where he worked. Maybe they bought the house. Who knows how they ended up making that decision. Couples make decisions all the time for what's best for them. Who knows why he why they were living an hour away from where he was. People do that. Look, there's people who live out in Gulf Breeze, Florida. They have to leave town to go to work. They have to go to Pensacola, Pace. It can take you an hour and a half sometimes. And don't ever think that 3 mile bridge might be clear heading home, because you might be sitting there for a fucking hot minute. But it happens. People do what they do. Who knows?
Yeah, I was made for loving you, baby, baby, made for loving me.
Are you playing?
61, 23, 21, 19.
Unit 43. 30A 980 King, apartment 8, C Genevieve.
Got it.
Hey, trolls, if y'all are still sitting here watching, thanks for the view. Hell, throw me a super chat while you're at it like you did last time, Jeff. Go ahead. Go ahead. I'm broke.
Anybody home? Anybody home?
So this home here is the wrong house, not the Tepe home. The home that Tepe's in was new, and the area was kind of going through gentrification. You know what I'm saying? So they were building the area back up, and they bought their house and moved there. So that's that. No, he's not professional.
Bird.
Now watch him look in this window. The second one.
Anybody home? There we go. Anybody home?
Yeah, Dolphin, I don't guess he updated it because he left Stone Creek and went to the other dental location. And that's where he had been working. But he did formerly work at Stone Creek. But I don't know why his LinkedIn wasn't updated. Do people even pay attention to that LinkedIn thing anymore? You know what I'm saying? Do they actually update their stuff? There's a lot of cases lately we look at and they're like, no updates.
It was the old college try.
The old college try.
Mark.
Now, the whole point of that was to show this guy he stood back away from a window and just looked in it. He didn't walk up to it. He didn't look in it. He didn't do anything other than knock on a front door and a back door. He doesn't even go to the front windows of the home and look in. Some people update their things, Dolphin, but a lot of people don't. Well, remember all the LinkedIn shit about that one guy at the Karen Reed trial and his little degree? I don't even know if I trust LinkedIn for good information on people. I mean, it's good. I look at it from time to time, but I don't. It's not my first go-to in cases, right? Because I know that a lot of the information on there may be outdated. I'll go look and see what it says, but it's like that's where I leave it a lot of times because I don't know who's updated shit and who hasn't. But we do know he did transfer from the Stone Creek to the other dental facility that he was currently working at. But this cop telling the 911 operator, you know, while I went there, I knocked, looked in the windows. What do you mean they see a body? You know, and then to treat the callers like they weren't, it wasn't serious enough, right? I understand that, Dolphin. I don't know why he wouldn't update his. I call that suspicious, I guess, but I don't know. I understand professionals and I understand they update their LinkedIn most of the time, but not all the time. But I don't know why he wouldn't. I don't know. Maybe we can ask the brother-in-law why he didn't. Who knows? How long did he go to work at the other place? But the owner of the current dental facility, when he called 911, he said, you know, he was the guy that was running the office because I'm not there. So, yeah, it gets used a lot, but I don't use LinkedIn. I don't hardly ever look at it. Every now and then I will if I'm being nosy, but I know that it's not always updated information, and I can't tell you why people do and don't do their things. Yeah, he took his job so seriously, he went to the wrong house. Now, it's one thing, everybody was saying at first, well, they got the street, you know, the street numbers. He was on the whole wrong street. How did that happen? Right? How did you go to the wrong, did dispatch give you the wrong address and wrote down the wrong street? Because you weren't even on the same street. If you had been on the actual street and went to the next door house or across the street because they had one number off, that's understandable maybe, but the whole wrong street is a little hard to accept because what is that going to happen on the next 911 call? You're going to send the cop to the wrong house again? Y'all need to be trying to fix that, right? Whatever that was that caused that needs to be fixed. I'm not so willing to overlook that little mistake and just say, oopsies. I don't know why they would think that that's okay. And, you know, we don't got to figure out why he went to the wrong house. Like, that needs to be investigated, how that occurred. If I lived in that town, I'd want to know how come he went to the wrong house. How did he get the wrong information? Who gave it to him? Or was it him not paying attention, right? I mean, did they say, hey, y'all, go over to this address? He's like, hold on, let me write it down. I hope it didn't happen that way. Should be formalities behind it, right? Instead of yelling across the room, hey, go check out this address. I just got a call. So he got the wrong address from somewhere. We just need to figure out how that happened, and they need to fix whatever that caused that, because that's not acceptable, especially for a 911. Like, that's literally their job, to come save you. And if they're at the wrong ass house and don't get an answer, we should have a problem with that. Because if I break the law, they're going to have a problem with it. I'm just catching up on y'all's. That's what I wonder, Butterfly. Did dispatch give the right address or the wrong address? How did that occur? There was a breakdown there, and they absolutely need to look into that and figure out what happened. Dolphins. Like, then there's those ones that every time they get a promotion, update. And then sometimes them LinkedIn's can bite you in the ass. Ask, oh, what's his name from the Karen Reed trial? We all just lit his ass up over his little 30-year journey into a degree, 20-year, whatever it was. I didn't hear on dispatch them even giving the address, but when she called the cop, he's like, I already went over there, so we never heard dispatch give an address. But you have to ask how that happened, because that's dangerous. It can't be a one-off, oh, it's just this case. So, there were 2 dead people in that home with children, right? So you got to fix whatever caused that. You just have to. Hi, Lindsay. Welcome in. Welcome in. True Crime XIO, thank you for being here. The fake non-degree CV, right? Like, Lordy, please. We'll have to wait for more information to come out. We'll have to find out when this guy's next appearance will be for his arraignment, and see what his plea's going to be, right? Hey, do they stand silent in Ohio like in Idaho? Is that a thing there? Does Splendor have the dispatch log? I got some documents from her the other day, but I don't recall getting the dispatch log. I had to go check and see if she's got it. She probably does. She felt some type of way. She come out, in the very beginning, and it's like, whoa, let's slow the roll on this McKee guy. And then she had to do a video and go, oh my God, I'm floored. This is the guy. So it's like, yeah, he was, or allegedly he's the guy. So if they gave the right address to the cop, can he not read the street signs? Does he not know our way around town? Sir, you need to go back to training. Because if they literally gave him the right address, what the hell? McKee Dolphin? Are you talking about who stood silent? What Koberger did. And are you talking about McKee? Because we watched the hearing a minute ago, and his attorney was talking. That was just the extradition hearing. If you're talking about McKee, he hasn't pled yet, right? He's too busy trying to sing. All of Ann Taylor's defendants stand up and remain silent. Yeah. Well, when he gets to arraignment, we'll see how things fly then. We will see how it goes. I was just thinking about something. Sorry. I had to stop and think for a second. I thought he just waived his rights for to be extradited here. Like, okay, I'm going to go. That wasn't, did I miss it where he pled not guilty? Because that was an extradition hearing. It wasn't even arraignment yet. Hey, do y'all think that Nick Reiner's new public defender will do as good of a job as the high dollar attorney would have? We'll see. I'm read your comment. Okay, let me look at this. Butterfly and I were checking out a stream yesterday. Was it yesterday or the day before? Now I think it was yesterday. It was over on Michelle After Dark, or I think it was her After Dark channel. She had like an open panel, and I didn't see it till afterwards, but she had a guest come on, and this guest brought up some documents that she said was leaked onto Reddit and then captured from Reddit and then put on TikTok. The girl who put them onto TikTok decided to take a black marker or something, a Sharpie, and just do her own redactions. Um, Things were redacted that didn't need to be redacted, and it was quite aggravating, and I think it aggravated Michelle as well. So after that live was finished, Michelle put a video together on the material that she received. The material came allegedly from Steve Fisher, the investigator. So I go to Twitter and I tag him and I ask him, is this document real? He didn't answer me, but he dropped the document onto the internet and we have it. I think we're going to come back later and go over it. Public defenders get a lot of practice, but the one they assigned him seems very low energy. Well, lower than Stern's people over there in Florida court, or they can barely speak. Yeah, is Alan gonna give over everything to? He said he was, right. I'm gonna give them everything because print this. He's not guilty. I'm honestly fine if Alan had kept the case, because I think by saying he's not guilty of murder didn't mean he didn't go in there, and he's not. Alan Jackson knows Nick did it, right? But to say I'm not guilty for murder, then who is? The mental health facilities that failed and the drug treatment facilities that failed, they are. And he was about to go after them as an industry, and I was kind of here for that part of it. So I don't know how hard public defenders can take that without all that money, because the people that they're going to go after probably in a later civil suit are going to have their own attorneys. And we know if Alan Jackson can do anything about that, he's going to file civil suits against all those places that ever treated him that failed him. And all this medication talk, recent diagnosis. Now, they said, from what we've heard, he apparently was doing well on his medications. And then I think it was Harvey who made a statement on TMZ, and nobody's elaborating. So all of y'all with information that drop little pieces here and yonder, stop it, because you're no better than the callers from 911 and people who get up and speak on the internet. But he was like, the reason they changed the medication will shock you. And they left it at that. Well, if it's going to shock me, please tell me, right? Because something's amiss here. Hey, Teresa, welcome in. Teresa. Butterfly, he can say it's not about money, then what was it about? If it's not about money, what was it about? Come on, but you quit trying to insult our intelligence, because we know better. I can't think of one good reason why he'd walk away from a case that's going to bring him a lot of publicity if it wasn't about money, right? People are going through, oh, well, in California, if you kill your parents, you can't inherit money and all. Stop it. There are 2 other siblings who lost their parents. Do you think they're ready to go all in to save their brother? Probably not. They might feel some type of way today. Maybe they're not feeling some type of way. But I think if they felt like we want to help our brother, they would have kept Alan Jackson. Like, sometimes common sense has to prevail. And I don't need 5 PhDs on the wall behind me to tell me I can see what's happening here. And stop trying to come out and play it some other way. I saw defense attorneys on Twitter trying to justify it. Like, stop it, You're going to tell us it ain't about money, but I guarantee you if I called you tonight because I did something bad, you're going to say, do you got enough money? But yeah, but you told everybody on the internet to call you if we ever need you. I'm calling. Well, you got to have some money, honey. And I'm going to record the conversation. Like, see, I told y'all, they talk a big game. We got to respect them defense attorneys. I do, to an extent. Hey, you earn your respect, you're going to get it, right? Earn it. Including them prosecutors. Earn that shit. We don't just go out blindly and accept. Hawkeyes, you think the siblings pulled back? I don't think they were ever on board. Who called Alan Jackson? Alan Jackson said, I got a call. Dropped everything for 3 solid weeks. Who called you, sir? Billy Crystal? Rob Reiner's best friend from down the street? Conan O'Brien? Bill Hatter? Who the hell who called Alan Jackson? Can we get the phone records? Inquiring minds want to know. Somebody will get them, and then they will leak them onto the Karen Reed Twitter pages, like all them other shit getting leaked out there. And no, I haven't watched the Lifetime movie. I don't want to. There was literally 2 trials and 4 years of internet stuff that won't stop. So I don't need to watch that weird movie. I don't even know what it's about. Or what it's, I couldn't even fucking tell you. Yeah, the family. That's what I'm saying, Hawkeyes. You got 2 siblings here, and they know their brother did that. How willing are they going to be to fork over all their dough to help him stay out of prison? He's going to jail. What kind of jail is the question? Psychiatric facility versus prison. Because there's no way out of this. It's going to be one or the other. And if he's incompetent and he really is as far gone as they say he is, if that's really true, he will go into a mental health facility versus prison. And that's what Jackson would have been trying to do. He wasn't going to go in there and say he didn't do it. Wrong guy. He's going to tell you why, all the things that led up to what he did, right? And now mitigation's going to come at the end, and then here we go. You think the family attorneys called Jackson or told them that no, we're not paying? Look, this brother and sister, they're adults. They got every absolute say so. And do we think that Rob and Michelle passed away and not left anybody over their estate? Their oldest son, maybe? Their daughter, Tracy. We've heard it's in Tracy's name. Everything's in Tracy's. The estate was left to Tracy, his oldest daughter. His daughter with Penny Marshall from Laverne and Shirley, right? So somebody's in charge over there, and I'm pretty sure it would have been their grown-ass daughter and not the family attorney. The family attorneys are going to be involved no matter what because of all the money. But somebody in the family is over the estate. And I don't think it's a stretch to feel like the family's like, wait a minute, we're not ready to go all in and give you all this money to defend him. Or maybe they could be feeling like, hey, that's not our brother. That's a shell of a person that we don't know anymore. And he used to be okay, right? They could be working with them in that way. But who knows? I feel like if the money would have been paid, Jackson would not have stepped away from that. There's no legit reason for him to. Okay, so if you take money aside and he's going to claim it's not about money, then what, did you think you couldn't win? So you backed out gracefully? Make it make sense. I'm too good for this. I'm too good of an attorney for this case. I'm going to tell them how to handle it, and then I'm going to step away. Oh, goofy Lifetime movies, y'all. I wouldn't watch them. I mean, I guess dumbasses will watch them and say, oh, Karen Reed, I don't even know what it's about. I hear they're hyping up the Turtle Boy, and I don't know. I wouldn't watch it. It's not true. Whatever they're putting out there is probably not true, so. But Karen's getting ready to do some big interview with a YouTube channel, and the trailer they put out was really freaky. Did y'all see that? I remember saying in the beginning they should let him deal with it, and any normal person would stop enabling him. Yeah. Well, to sit back and try to figure out what went wrong in this family's lives, going back to this 14-year-old needing an intervention bothers me because I've raised 4 kids and they've all been 14 at one point. Do I have concerns and worries about what they may try at the age of 14, 15, 16? Hell yeah. But I never caught my kids doing anything at that age. Never. Never even suspected it. But for a child to need an intervention at the age 14 is a lot. How did we get there, right? Was he just becoming, they were just becoming aware he was having problems and they tried then, but apparently there was a huge failure for decades. And maybe there was a lot of confusion about what was really going on mentally because of his heavy drug use, right? You couple already existing, say he already had a lot of mental health problems existing, and then he was also got into the drugs and all of that. It may be hard for psychiatrists to decipher what's really going on here if they're always using at the same time they're having these problems, right? They would have had to, yeah, I'm sure they had financial means set aside to take care of him. I'm sure of it. They loved their son. They were doing everything in their damn well possible realm to help that kid. There's no way they left him broke. But California law, kill your parents, you don't get the inheritance. Because Cali is full of wealthy ass people. That's kind of like power of attorney. You can't have financial power of attorney and medical durable attorney in Florida. What if you try to off that person because they got all that money you're going to inherit? You can't do both. You got to do one or the other. One's got the finance and one's got the medical. So, of course, they would have left him money, but I'm sure it's in control of the siblings. And not like, here's Nick's inheritance, because they probably would have known what Nick would have done with that inheritance had he gotten his hands on it. Was this kid experiencing a lot of mental health problems before the age of 14? He didn't know what to do, and that turned him to, dabbling and testing the drug situation out. I know we can't keep our eye on our kids 24/7. I get all of us parents know that. But I don't know, 14 was awfully young to start interventions in my opinion. Oh, he ain't got no say-so over that money. In California, he's got none. Let's pull up the California law on that. The man done killed his parents. Okay. I'm sorry, if my sibling did that, I may not want to get them out of prison. I don't care what is. You got a lot of problems, I get it, but at some point you had to pull up your big girl pants and get on with life. That's what I got told. I wasn't on drugs, but I had devastating things happen in my life. So people who turn to that, for somebody like me who's experienced the worst thing in life that could ever happen, knowing I could have went down that road and chose not to, what happened that was so bad? What was it, just dabbling and it turned into more? Because we're talking party central out in LA. Let's not pretend that's not happening either. I don't know about any kind of trust. I still feel like if he had a trust, it's not going to be where he can actually access it himself, right? There probably would have been safeguards in place, maybe like through the other siblings or something, unless they didn't want to put that on him and they left an attorney in charge of his part of an inheritance, if any. I mean, something caused Jackson to bow down, and you can't tell me it wasn't money. In California, the Slayer statute prevents anyone who intentionally and feloniously kills another person from inheriting the victim's estate, treating the killer as if they died before the victim. This means a child who murders their parents cannot receive assets from their will, trust, life insurance, or intestate succession, regardless of family wealth or fame. Though the rule requires a finding, not necessarily a criminal conviction, that the killing was intentional, the killer is barred from any benefit of the inheritance that passes to the next eligible heir. See, I researched this 2 weeks ago and read it. That's why I said what I said about him not even, he ain't got no access to no money. The siblings do. Yeah, he ain't got no money to pay Alan Jackson all by himself. He never did. He living in the parents' yard, trying to get money out of the dad allegedly for another movie. He blew through what money he had. I'm having a hard time getting behind this kid. Just poor thing, had a bunch of mental health problems, and we got to we just need to accept that. I get mental health, trust me. But I also know there are ways to overcome whatever's going on, and there's tools you need to get through life. It's too easy these days to walk away from life and turn to drugs and then blame everybody else for it. But if they failed him time after time after time in facilities that costed thousands of dollars, where was the failure really? Was it with these facilities? Where's the failures once he was back at home? It's hard to say. You can't blame the parents for what this boy's going to go out and do, especially as he aged, got older. But I do have a problem with all these mental health facilities, because remember when all the shootings were happening, we can't blame the guns, it's mental health. Okay, we're going to blame mental health now. But apparently the mental health system in our country sucks really bad, and we need to do something about it too. And we probably should have that conversation now. I mean, how would y'all feel if you spent thousands of dollars putting your kid into a treatment facility and they came out doing the same thing they went in there for? Over and over and over. How many did this kid go to over the years, I wonder? It was a handful, apparently. I was in a chat the other day. We were talking. It was about Rex Heuermann, because I just consume all things I'm waiting for that case to go to trial. So I am still deeply following what's happening in the Rex Heuermann case. But I was in a live the other night, and they were going through Rex's Google searches. And there was this one that come up that I've forgotten about, and that one guy's like, "I'm not Googling that." Boy, I'm like, Google it. And I was like, oh man, y'all don't look at my Google searches. Rex was a weirdo. Woozy says he had the best provided to him. Did he though? How did he have the same treatment others would have gotten, but in a really cush facility, right? Normal drug rehab for the everyday citizen's going to be a little clinical type setting, not a cush, what can I get you for lunch kind of setting, right? We're going to, they probably got a spa in the facials, and you can get your pedicure, all that self-care that they're going to inundate on them, and the 5-star accommodations. That's what they're paying for. They're not paying for treatments that the average facility doesn't have access to. You're paying thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars for privacy and a cush place to stay while you do your therapy. I don't think a therapy should cost that much money, because average people who aren't multimillionaires, good luck with your mental health and your look for an attorney. Good luck with all that. You should have been really super rich like me. Okay. Yes, Jet, the wooden horse. Don't. Thank you. I couldn't recall it. Were you in there with me at Josh's live with Sarge? Oh my God. There's something. Rex, come on, dude. What are you doing? And you got to think about his poor victims and what all they went through. Ew, sicko. When y'all think that this, when you see these true crime cases and you're like, oh my God, that's devastating, how horrible. Go look at the Rex Heuermann case. You're going to see devastating and horrible. Holy shit. And how many more Rex Heuermanns and Brian Kobergers are walking around right now amongst us? Right now. Exactly, Dolphin. If Carl left the kids trust, and a lot of times though, a trust can be set up. You get a certain amount at 18, some it's 25, whatever they decide. But I'm sure Rob oversaw their inheritance. Now they may have gotten a certain amount, it turned 18, 25, whatever however he had it set up would have went. Nick probably had access to a lot of money at some point, obviously, and at some point the well dried up. They put the brakes on it. You know what I'm saying? But I don't know if he can still have access to any of that money, Dolphin. That's a good question, right? Like if he does have anything left from the grandfather, would he still have access to that? It's not going to be enough for Alan Jackson, though. He got to have all them experts or something. He would have to have experts who were willing to come in there and testify about the state of these mental health facilities and why they're switching drugs on people all willy-nilly. Those drugs can be very dangerous. Oh, there's some out there that, even they had Mickey Steins on that Seroquel and shit. I'm like, holy shit. We read what all they were putting Rick Allen on in the jails, and then you hear people who can't even get their damn blood pressure medicine once they get in jail. But they gonna dope you up real quick, there is a lot of questions to be asked, I guess, as far as his mental health goes, but I don't know which started first, the mental health problems or the drug use. Which one led to which, right? Did mental health problems lead to the drug use, or did the drug use lead to the mental health problems? That's where I don't know for sure if Alan knows what he's talking about yet. He might get there eventually. We'll have to wait and see how it unpacks. And I understand people have this hard walk with addiction. I've seen it firsthand. But I've also saw how easy it is to turn away from it. If you really got that in you and you really want that, you'd like, that is not a life for me. Yeah, I wouldn't have left. Now the grandfather may not have known Nick had problems like that. When did that old man die? It's a 30-something-year-old grown-ass man we're talking about, not a little child, right? We're talking about a grown man. It's like people in the comments were trying to blame that that Hatter guy. I'm like, y'all don't even know them. You weren't even at the party. Yeah, it's woozy. It needs to be overhauled here. Every state has mental health facilities and different things, and locally, it can be hard for people to find them for kids and stuff, like therapies and stuff, and that should be at the forefront. If society is so ready to say, well, you can't blame this and that, you got to blame mental health. All right, well, what are we doing about mental health? Right? We have to ask that question at some point. We can't just pass the buck and go on about our business. He died in 2020. Thanks, Dolphin. Yeah, if he died in 2020, he knew the kid was having problems, right? So, under California law, I don't think Nick has any rights to any of his parents' money. I don't know what he's got from Grandpa, but I think it's not going to be enough for Alan, apparently. Or Nick would have said, hey, nah, dudes. But they say Nick doesn't know what he's doing in jail. Now he's got like a conspiracies after him. He knows he killed his parents, but doesn't understand why he's in jail. I get it. Maybe he doesn't. Maybe he really lost it and is just so far gone now that we're never going to get him back. But he still did what he did, and it's got to be dealt with. How will it be dealt with is the question. But you just don't see a lot of serious conversations going on about the mental health and drug addiction. People say you should have sympathy for all of that, and I do. But I also need to see you being proactive and doing something about it, right? Instead of making excuses. In Portland, Oregon, you have to take out a bank loan to get rehab. So isn't Oregon kind of like free willy-nilly do all the drugs? Am I mistaken? I think it's ridiculous. I wouldn't live there to save my life. I couldn't. It shouldn't be that hard to get mental health help. We have a facility here in town that's, I don't know how long this damn thing's been around, as far as back as I can remember. But it's like the community mental health place or whatever, and that's where people go who don't have tons of money or whatever. But the people I know that have ever been there, they were all given the same meds. And I remember asking somebody, well, why are y'all all getting the same medication? It made me start to question what was happening. And then it came out. They were dishing out Xanax like candy, and then realized they had a whole community now hooked on their Xanax. Guess what? We're taking them back right now, and they caused withdrawals on their people that they gave it to. That whole place had to go under a whole overhaul. Pushback in Florida means something, and change comes out of it every single time. Are they 100% better down there? From what I've heard, no. But hopefully they can make the right changes, because there's no cookie cutter treatment plan for anybody, right? Everybody's treatment plan is going to be different, and the types of meds can be different that they give out as well. Professionals need to figure out, well, we got to figure out who the professionals are, Rachel. I mean, come on, Dr. John scares me. Okay, there's a lot of Dr. Johns out there with their weird Brad Pitt analogies and stuff. And I don't need doctors like that trying to take care of me. If I just need to go get something, well, I don't have to go. One time I volunteered to go to therapy because I thought, well, why not? It couldn't hurt. She's like, why are you here? You could be the therapist. I was like, yeah, I know, it's boring. Bye. And I never went back. Like, I was helping her. And she started talking about her own shit. It was like that. And I'm like, oh, what am I doing here? No, I'm good. So I don't know. We'll have to see how it unpacks for sure. All right, guys, I'm going to go for a while. I might come back on here later on tonight. If not, I'll be back in the morning and unpack some more of this stuff and see what comes up overnight. Woozy says when they decriminalized hard drugs and PDX, they were supposed to reallocate funding for new rehab facilities and community policing. Yeah. Did that ever happen? Like, what's going on out there for real? I just hear it's like a free-for-all, so I don't know. I mean, marijuana getting legalized is one thing, but giving out the hard drugs and calling it okay, we're helping the addicts. I don't get that. I don't see how that helps anybody. I wouldn't want to live around it. I wouldn't want my kids to be exposed to it. I wouldn't want them to see it. I personally couldn't live there. I'd have moved the minute all that began to happen. It's bad enough out there on these streets. Now we're out there giving it to them for free or whatever, so they stay safe. What about me? Am I safe? What about me? What if y'all are closed the day they come by for a handout and my house looks good for the robbing? I'm in Florida. Stand your ground and all that. All right, guys, y'all are welcome. We'll get any more information we can find out. Of course, we'll bring it to you. It may be a couple more days before we hear anything else about the case. I'm going to check the docket and keep an eye on that as well. I signed up on my Vine link when he got arrested. So I'll get a notification the minute he starts making his way back over to Ohio, and that has not happened yet. They're probably in the process today. Once that hearing was done this morning, you can bet extradition papers are in the works today. So we should be getting a notification at some point. Let me see. Nope, that wasn't it. I had a message and I just checked to see if that, nothing. So when I get the notification that he's being moved, I'll post it over to the community tab for you guys. And then we'll have to wait and see when his next court hearing will be for the arraignment, and we'll take it from there. Yeah, y'all go have a good one and stay safe on them streets. Y'all know how it is out there. I ain't got to tell y'all. Butterfly, everything worked out okay. I see you're back in chat. She had to go take care of something, but she was listening and doing her mod thing at the same time. Dolphin saw a different hearing for him. Look, when I'm up here hosting you guys, I can't see all the hearings and stuff popping off while I'm live. I don't have 15 monitors and 15 things pulled up to watch. I gotta focus. I don't know, so I'm confused. Let me know in the DM, Rachel, what you're talking about even. All right, guys. Yeah, y'all stay safe out there. Thanks for joining me today. Hit the thumbs up if you don't mind. It sure helps us out. And I'll see you guys back here later. Y'all have a good one.
Thank you all for watching this here video.